It is in the super featherweight division. 22-year-old Gamble against 29-year-old Mexican ALCALA. It's time to fight. The southpaw from Cincinnati, 6-0, with 4 of his 6 wins by knockout in the red and white trunks. Black with a bit of white trim for El Duro, DAMIAN ALCALA. ALCALA, we saw that aggressive style, his strong ring IQ, very versatile, and I'll tell you what, at times when he fought Dominic Valle back in September of last year, Chris, we thought maybe ALCALA was not going to live up to that nickname, but he certainly did, and then some.
Yeah, he got hurt early on and then really fought back and was able to last. But, ooh, he's getting hit with some big left hands here from Gamble. Man, watch that left hand. He's got a beautiful pull counter that he has been able to crack El Duro multiple times with already a minute into round 1.
And there it is again on the counter shot. Gamble has a really good sense of distance and controlling range and understands the step in and step out game very, very well. As he just gets out, just enough to be able to fire right back and stay within the range of him being able to touch you, but you can't touch him.
Pulls that trigger beautifully. Bang.
We saw 2 minutes and 1 second of his handiwork back on November 1st. That is G-Baby. MYKELL Gamble trains with Levi Smith out of the Cincinnati Golden Gloves gym. First time scheduled for 6. El Duro, U.S. Marine. In fact, his entire team served our nation, and we thank them all for that. Born to fight, trained to kill, ready to die, but never will. DAMIAN ALCALA swinging away here 2 minutes into round 1. Trying to stay aggressive on the break with Gamble. '29-year-old against 22-year-old.
ALCALA's bringing it though, man. Maybe he's not as polished as Gamble, but he's trying to overwhelm him in activity, maybe keep him a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, because of that judge distance of Gamble, and is able to pull that. ALCALA needs to really rush to get himself inside. He's got to take a little bit of heat to get there, but once he's there, he's actually doing some good work. ALCALA staying very calm.
Yeah, and I like the way Gamble also changes height. You know, tries to give different looks, give little feints and little touches, trying to keep baiting ALCALA so he can fall in and Gamble can counter him.
Well, you can see he uses that explosiveness and that fluidity with his defense, not just his offense.
It was also the older, if you will, at 28, 29-year-old against the 22-year-old Dominic Valle. This is round number 2. The southpaw in the red and white from Cincinnati being hunted down by ALCALA here early in the round.
Now ALCALA trying to use those bully tactics where he's trying to make Gamble come undone.
As we mentioned in the open, coach said his best punch is anything he throws either hand. He is a slick southpaw.
Honestly, I think that's the best bet for ALCALA at this point.
Yeah.
Fighting at that mid-distance or long range, Gamble definitely has the advantages.
Yeah, because Gamble likes to control the pace and likes to be able to, fight, decide when you fight and decide when you move and decide when you don't fight. And ALCALA can take that away from him by rushing the pace. And you can see in spots it makes Gamble a little bit uncomfortable. But Gamble's being smart. He's smothering ALCALA and creating a clinch when ALCALA rushes in like that. So that way the break can create that distance once again and force ALCALA to start over.
All 4 stoppages, Chris and Paulie, for Gamble coming into tonight had come in the very first round. That's the 4-round distance in his pro debut and also 2 fights ago.
Yeah, that's because of his explosiveness. You can tell. Very fast twitch, which is why I'm curious to see how his gas tank holds up under pressure of ALCALA, because a lot of times those fast twitch guys tire out quicker.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna have to be a little bit more active to get ALCALA's respect tonight. It's not going to be as easy as just control the pace. He's landing some counters, but now they're not all getting through cleanly. But he's going to have to keep doing stuff like that and then also get on the leads just like that.
Not as sharp as they were in round number 1, though. ALCALA looks like he's very determined, Has no issue walking through these shots right now.
ALCALA was knocked down for the first and second time in his professional career, both by nasty uppercuts by Dominic Valle back in September. First time, as I mentioned, he had been knocked down in his career. Thought he might be down and out for a second, Chris, but ended up going the distance against a very sharp Dominic Valle that night.
Very different kind of guy, though. Valle is a combination puncher. He puts a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
Gamble, much more of a sharpshooter.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that, champ. Valle brings heat, while Gamble looks to pick his spots and likes to be able to control the pace. So if you don't allow him to, you may make him uncomfortable. But I like the way he's taking back control of the pace here. He's gotten a little bit more active, and ALCALA has been forced to respect the distance and the pace of Gamble.
Doing a good job mixing up that left hand now, too. Throwing some uppercuts in between. Changing up his speeding a little bit. Good. Straight left hand down the middle. Catches ALCALA right on the chin.
Gamble's been working on taking his time.
Nice adjustment here in round 2.
US second against an American opponent, so tonight his third in the U.S., although he lives in Chula Vista, California, from Tijuana, Mexico. In the red and white is Gamble, ALCALA in the black. 0-2 here on the United States turf. So ALCALA looking for his first win, which would be the 8th of his career here in the U.S. and right here on ProBox TV.
Gamble's a nice move, spinning around. You know, he shows that athleticism, not just in his ability to control the range, but also his ability to escape without completely blowing his position. Nice little counter uppercut there on the way in, as ALCALA tried to rush his way in, but Gamble met him with the uppercut.
Round number 3 between Gamble and ALCALA. As I mentioned, Gamble scheduled for 6. For the first time in his career, he's gone the full 4 rounds, twice as a young pro.
ALCALA's pressure is a little bit more controlled now. It seems like Gamble has gotten the respect of ALCALA. ALCALA is not in as much of a rush to get in there like he was before. He's almost, I don't want to say he's been completely domesticated, but he's certainly more under control.
You know, it is that second round. MYKELL was able to really change up the pace, find different holes.
And a good learning fight, even for Gamble, because you know what, it showed Gamble that, you know, he can't just be cute in there and get through wins just being with his natural athletic gifts. He's got to actually be busy and actually lead and create offense, as well as use the same counters that he's always been used to using.
Nice spin off hook there to get back to the center.
Exactly, using a good balance of athleticism and smart boxing.
In the fighter interviews, Gamble and his coach talked about the fact that MYKELL likes to set things up. He likes to showcase his ring IQ, be persistent, but yet patient.
Well, I'm glad we're getting more rounds out of him, because he looked really good his last showing here, but it was such a short outing. Now we're seeing some of that skill, some of those nuanced moves that Gamble possesses.
ALCALA coming in tight, Paulie.
You want to see more rounds, you bring in a guy like ALCALA.
Yes, that's for damn sure.
It doesn't go away that easy.
ALCALA has gone the distance in all 3 of his losses. Had not been knocked down until the fight against Dominic Valle.
Nice uppercut, splits the guard there from Gamble.
Round 3 in the books.
I like that.
We switched it up so that you guys at home can take your wives out for Valentine's Day and not get a divorce because of us.
And get left alone on Friday night.
TV on Valentine's Day on your phone, right?
Yeah. Valentine's on Wednesday, violence on Friday. Remember,
like it.
Special edition Wednesday night fights on Friday night.
Well, I mean, normally we make the fights on Wednesday so your wives don't bother you to watch fights, but now they're going to, it's Valentine's Day, you got to take them out.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's what they say.
Round number 4, Gamble and ALCALA.
You know what they say, Goldie? no boxing, no life.
That is
So,
true, too.
You know what else is true? Some wives do watch boxing.
A lot of wives. We got a lot of women here in the ProBox arena tonight.
And you know there are many women who box professionally.
Yeah. We can just keep adding to this.
We're just seeing who's going to run out of silly things to say.
Nice check right hook there by Gamble. Nice left hand as well.
Yeah, I think we should get back to this fight.
Yeah. for the sanity of everyone
Enough banter about...
Yes. On ProBoxTV.com and our ProBox TV YouTube channel.
Oh, nice little counter there.
Yeah.
He's got his hand caught in there, though. He's got to shorten it up just a little bit there, Gamble, with that counter.
I really like that switch up from the straight left hand to the uppercut. It's been finding a home because ALCALA comes forward with his head over that front foot, so heavy. There it is again.
But ALCALA's making an extra effort this round. He took the last round off from the pressure, making an extra effort this round to try to close that gap again on Gamble.
I overheard his corner saying, why are you respecting this guy so much? Go get him.
And talking to them, they are all business. As I mentioned, El Duro, the Tough, a U.S. Marine, his entire team.
That uppercut that's the one right there, man.
Yeah,
ALCALA will come in sometimes leaning with his head forward. Gamble has landed it a couple of times. That was the punch that actually got him some space and some respect a couple of rounds ago, or last round. And it seems like he's landed it again. And you know what? ALCALA has not been as aggressive since.
That one actually, that looked like the first punch that actually may have wobbled ALCALA tonight.
And
he
that
hasn't
was
thrown a
the
punch
punch
since.
that Valle used not once, well, more than once and twice, but knocked him down with both times was a nasty uppercut in round 2 and in round 3. And when I asked Damian ALCALA and his team, Chris and Paulie, what have you worked on since that fight? And they all said immediately, avoiding the uppercut.
Work on it a little more.
Yep.
Because the uppercut in this round has calmed down a lot of his pressure. And it's up to Gamble really to recognize it and start to focus on being first and putting together some offensive combinations here instead of staying that defensively respectful so much to the point that ALCALA is going to recover. It was a moment in time here for Gamble to really put some punches together. Now ALCALA's back.
We were talking about that uppercut. There's that shot that had ALCALA off balance a little bit and a little more reserved for the rest of the round.
MYKELL Gamble, mentored, managed by Jamel Herring, 24-4 record, former WBO junior lightweight champion who also served in the United States Marine Corps, 2 tours in Iraq. Gamble in the red and white, ALCALA in the black. First 6-rounder for Gamble, so first time in round number 5 for the 22-year-old from the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Again, you see that lead hand, the Gamble sometimes touches with it, sometimes he throws those probing hooks with it. He likes to control that distance with it, but at times ALCALA, when he rushes in, he has some success. So though Gamble smartly smothers and at times has met him with the uppercut. There's one right there.
A minute into round 5.
I'll tell you, the uppercut there every time, guys. If Gamble sees it, I mean, it's actually there a lot more than Gamble's been able to throw it. There it is again, but he didn't throw it.
The Zapata Gym in Tijuana, Mexico is where ALCALA trained for this fight again. Said it was the longest and he feels best camp of his career.
He just has to make sure that when he pressures Gamble like this, he doesn't end up smothering himself. He's too excited almost at times to pressure.
Ready to represent his city, the background.
Got a cut over the eye.
Might be a butt.
Gamble.
Because ALCALA attacks a lot with his head. Might have been from a headbutt. That's why you got to catch him with the uppercut on the way in. It's there every single time.
I was going to say, I haven't seen a lot of clean punches landed by ALCALA, even though he's been very aggressive and having a good round. So you're probably right, that most likely was a butt.
And Valle fought, as he generally does, very long against Damian ALCALA. Not the same approach from the southpaw MYKELL Gamble. Just a different type fighter. Snap that left to the head of his opponent. G-Baby looking to move to 7-0.
Alcala actually has landed some decent body shots this round. He's a good knuckle puncher. He throws them around the elbows with his thumb in.
That little matador move there by Gamble. That cut is bleeding profusely. They're going to have to work on that.
Bad spot too, above the eyelid.
There's the uppercut. I mean, it's there. I mean, when Gamble wants to throw it, it's kind of hard to miss the uppercut because Alcala kind of leans in forward with his face in front of his knees, past his knees. So and he's kind of squared up. So he's in a position to take the uppercuts.
Ooh, good body shot there. Uppercut from Gamble.
Valle set up those uppercuts, though, really well with the jab when they met back in September of last year.
Yeah, but there it is. That's the headbutt. He went for the body shot uppercut as Alcala was rushing in head first, like you've been saying, champ.
So you got to be in with the uppercuts.
Orthodox southpaw headbutts happen more often than not.
For Gamble on this first fight scheduled for 6 rounds, I asked him about it. He said, I've been preparing for this for a long time. I know the trajectory that I plan on taking in my pro career. I sparred 10 to 12 rounds. 6th and final round here tonight against DAMIAN ALCALA. The southpaw, Gamble, looking to remain unbeaten as we get things started on Wednesday night fights.
Good advice from the corner of Gamble saying, listen, there's 3 minutes. He's going to come out pushing, so make sure you're staying sharp.
That cut's already trickling down.
I was noticing that too, Paulie.
Yeah, not even a minute into this last round. That cut's opened back up. It looked pretty wide from what I could see in the corner.
Gamble will probably be better suited to stay aggressive offensively and not allow Alcala to rush into like that because it could affect the cut if he gets butted again or even gets hit. I think Alcala can be controlled if you lead enough times those sharp shots.
Alcala trying to put the pressure on here in the 6th and final round. Good movement throughout this fight, showcased by 22-year-old MYKELL Gamble.
Another thing that the corner of Gamble was saying was take the power off, use the speed, and move after you hit. He's been doing that. He's landing and then moving. Landing and then moving.
In the corner, Alcala gets a couple of punches to land. Past the midway point of the 6th and final round.
Now, last round, Goldie had mentioned the jab of Dominic Valle and how he's able to set up that uppercut. The jab of Gamble, more of a range finder. He puts it out there, doesn't snap it as often, especially in these later rounds.
A lot of southpaws tend to do that.
Yeah.
They use it as a range finder more than snap it out.
Under a minute remains in our first fight on this Wednesday night.
Good counter right hook. Check hook there from Gamble.
Yeah, the shorter shots there by Gamble. Better technique.
Doing a good job, even though the guy is on rushing. He's able to find spots for his power shots.
It's one of those fights where a good learning fight. You know, you get a guy who consistently makes you work. You start to realize the pace you need to keep in order to control guys like this. Also figure out different ways to try to control guys like this because they're very stubborn. You can't just fight guys off of you at this as you go up the levels. You got to outsmart them and fight them as well.
Yeah, first round knockouts are fun, but you don't learn a whole lot.
His debut on ProBox TV, 2 minutes and 1 second. This one about to go 18 minutes, 6 full rounds as they throw to the finish. It's in the hands of the judges, Gamble and Alcala.
And we saw the sharpness of Gamble early on, was finding home for that straight left hand, multiple different ways, over the top, straight down the middle, and then eventually the uppercut from the on-rushing Alcala. Alcala not having much success in that middle range, so he was really pushing forward to try and make it a dogfight, but Gamble did a good job of boxing well from the outside, finding his range, finding his counters, and being just slippery enough to not get caught along those ropes too much for Alcala to land those power shots. And as the fight wore on, you see a nice changeup from Gamble.
unanimous decision, and still undefeated, MYKELL G.